would like you to meet my roommate. And his roommate
Was
Jerry. And so Jerry called me and invited me to our first date. Our first date, it may not surprise you, was a jazz record hour.
Get out of here.
Record hour?
Yes, which Jerry was running on campus as part of the recreation program there. He would select jazz records from his own collection, I guess in other places, and then he would talk about the musicians and talk about the music. For an hour or so, we played the records. That was absolutely our first
Do
date.
you remember any of the records that were played at the time?
I think there may have been a Sidney Bechet.
Okay, fine.
Right.
That's good enough.
Okay. And that really is how we met. When we met, I didn't hear that.
Yes.
What year was this now? 46?
I see him with that quizzical look on his face. They're making it up.
It's the other Jeremy. Jeremy.
Right, right.
That was the fall of
Quiet,
1946. And I don't think either of us had the slightest idea that we would possibly, mean anything to each other. He had just come back from the Navy and he was interested in being back at school, celebrating, having a good time, going to a lot of parties. And I had this boyfriend. I had this boyfriend back home, so neither of us were, kind of.
He was being a doctor's row also?
No.
He went to another high school.
And so I think it was somewhere along about, and I guess Jerry knows this story, it must have been 8 or 9 months later, I was home, it was summer vacation. I was home, and my mother was taking, this is a strange story. My mother was taking a bath in this great big old-fashioned bathtub in our bathroom, and I was sitting on a stool next to her talking. And I suddenly said to her, she was talking to me about school and stuff.
When was this exactly? You were at school?
Summer of 47. Now.
So you were, so this is
Did you
a
heat the
year and
water
a
in the
half.
bathtub with the cold downstairs?
So, Mommy, this was a year and a half after you met Dad.
Yes.
A little less.
About a year or so, less
Yeah,
than a year.
about a year and 3 months.
And I don't know what we were talking about, and I suddenly said, and the words came out of my mouth, absolutely as a surprise to me, and I said, I think I'm gonna marry this guy.
Aww.
Really? And it
Dad,
was,
you don't look too sure about that. He wasn't there.
No, keep going.
Simona?
It was another guy. It's a different story.
Second floor, back bathroom,
That's right. Right. And we had this old-fashioned house where the bathtub was in one room and the jug was in another room. So it was kind of, anyway, I was sitting there visiting with my mother. And the words that came out of my mouth were a total shock to me. But somewhere in my subconscious, they must have existed. And anyway, that's the story of how we met. What I would like to say is that it's such a pleasure for me to look around this room and to have my 3 children together in one place at the same time, which doesn't happen a lot these days. And to have...
Hey.
You should have said Debbie.
And to have my beloved in-law children, Sid, our financial guy, who does the best due diligence of anybody in the world, in case you reach out due diligence stuff, and Larry, our professor, who has taken his career to be a professor of the music business, and we're proud of both of you, and very, very proud of the achievements of my children, and the fact that there was a point in my life, probably when they were in their 20s, that I looked around and I said, my God, they've grown up into people who I really like. I love them always, but they've grown up to people that I really like. And to have my brother here, my little brother, who, as I've said years ago, became my big brother. And to have him with me in all these years is very, very precious. And I look around the room here and I see that here are my three handsome, intelligent, enormously talented, above average grandsons.
Okay, now live up to that.
3 of 5.
Who are all really
3 out of
starting,
5.
really having
Don't not here,
auspicious
otherwise you would have said that.
beginnings to their careers. I'm very proud of you, but also very proud that, like my children, you have grown up to be people I can like, people I can be proud of because of the human beings you are. And you represent all of my other brilliant and above average grandchildren who could not be here tonight. Anyway, I am very grateful, overwhelmed by the age I have reached. Grateful to be here, but overwhelmed by the number. It just is, it's a daunting number.
Simona,
It's the daunting.
we
That's the
have
number.
achieved years beyond our parents and grandparents in longevity.
Right, except for our great-grandfather.
Now, one guy
For whom
who
I
just
was named
hung on.
Wait, what about
Noah.
what? Anna? What about not Anna? You grandma Anna. Your mother.
Our great-grandfather lived to be 105.
Wow.
And when my brother was born, my grandmother, his daughter, said, "You can't." My parents wanted to name their baby boy, their new baby boy, for
My
my
parents,
father's.
our parents.
Yes, for my father's grandfather. And they had gone to him and asked how he felt about it. He said he would be very honored. And his daughter, however, clung to the feeling that you cannot name somebody is alive because you want to kill them off. And it's true. We killed him off. He died. He was 103. 2 years later, he
2
died.
years later, Simona,
2
I
years
told
later.
this story, Simona, I told that story just the same way.
Right.
No, and he held me at my wrist.
Yeah.
And what he said,
When
as I remember,
What?
When
No, 105.
No, no,
105.
at 105.
no, when was this?
What year?
2 years after Noah was
He was born in the
36,
1700s.
1936.
Right, right.
Wow, so he
He
was
was
born
born
in
1831.
1830.
1830.
Wow.
1830.
And he-
They totally had no iPads, I'm pretty sure.
And he had, according to my parents,
What a sucky time to be alive.
till the end. Mine was-
If the story that I'm told is he's dying, they said we gotta get in touch with his brother in Stanford. What was the name? Schmoley. And he said,
That
what's
was
the
not the name.
Right, that wasn't one of our names. But anyway, so they're talking quietly. He said, what's the number in Stanford? And Noah, who is dying, says it's 845-353-7877. And he remembered the number. He was blind, I'm told, at
Yeah,
the
he
time.
lost his sight.
But his mind, the last couple, after I was born, it was a curse. At 103, he lost his sight, I think.
Yeah. So I was saying it's a very daunting number to come to number 87. I'm extremely grateful. Several things
So
have
am I.
happened. Several things have happened which are, I didn't expect. I am now smaller than I was.
So,
And at a time when it would be advantageous to wear high heels, I can no longer really balance on them. So I can't get back the inches. And I don't see quite as well or hear quite as well as I used to.
what'd you say?
Yeah.
Heard you,
Okay.
heard you. But I am really blessed to have something that I hope all of you will have all of your lives, which is to feel that I can still contribute, to feel that I am still useful, to be able to use myself. And I hope that, I expect and hope to die with my boots on. And for that, I'm extremely grateful to have come to this point. I didn't make a career out of anything physical or digging ditches, so it doesn't matter. if I can't do all those things anymore, I can still think, and wherever there may be some respect for the wisdom that you gain through years of what you do, I may still be useful, and I certainly hope to. Again, I want to say thank you. As I look around at all the faces, I want to say we're glad to have Lauren and Lara here tonight, and Margie. And thank you all for who have contributed to my life.
One sweater.